Back, everybody.
Welcome back. So, guess what I upgraded to today?
A new security system.
No, but I desperately need one of those. No, gigabit Ethernet or
Really?
internet. Yeah,
So,
not sure if I'm noticing much of a difference yet. I had
is
it
it
pretty
is it
high.
gigabit up and down?
Yes,
Damn, what you gonna
I am
stream?
not getting the throughput right now. I haven't optimized something yet. My router is kind of throttling me between 5 and 600, but still, that's
Oh,
five. That's
only
five
five and
times
six
faster.
hundred. Damn.
Well, I will say that I just uploaded two videos before we started recording, and
God, I bet that was fast.
they actually took about the same amount of time as it's always taken when on my 150 connection. So I mean, the 150 connection is pretty damn impressive anyway.
Yeah, best I've ever
But
had is like 20 up. I think's what I have now.
yeah, when I moved here and got the 150 in the first place, it was life changing because I used to set videos to record or to upload
I
after
said
I went to
videos to
sleep.
record.
Yeah, I set videos to record. That's how I do YouTube. I just am like record. I go to sleep. Make me money.
So I'm gonna
No.
just get this out of the way. You're gonna complain about my audio being out of sync, and I want to tell you, I got all this VR stuff I want to do this month, and when I set up my VR stuff today, it was like, oh, you got your video card drivers are out of date. You got to update them, and I was like, okay, that's no big deal. But then when I went to get my new video card drivers, I saw that the video card drivers that are the newest ones released today, and I immediately knew, all right, I'm fucked. And sure enough,
Yeah. So when you say out of sync, like, are you noticing it when you're playing
oh
too,
yeah,
or
yeah,
is it just out of sync in the recording?
like I break a block, and then I get the sound. Like I
Yeah,
break the yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
yeah, that's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's like there's like a 1 second delay between action and sound.
So you said this happened to you last time you did it too. What did you do to fix it, or is
They
it
released
waiting
a
until
driver
a
that
new?
fixed it. Like every time I've ever got a driver the day it came out, there's something wrong with it.
That's just so weird that it would cause such a sync issue on the regular.
Well, yeah, it is. It is weird. That's why I don't do like day one release drivers. I don't ever get them because there's always something that's not right. That they have to fix. It seems like every time I've ever got a day one driver, I regretted that decision.
Yeah, unless there's some problem that a driver states that it fixes that I'm having and I've been waiting for, I try to wait for drivers to be out for a while. And then I actually like read reviews on them because I've had drivers like brick things.
Wow.
Not necessarily like a computer, but trying to push a new driver to a phone or the new operating system to a phone that just released and you can opt into, and had the device just get stuck in a reboot cycle.
Yeah, I avoid. I mean, being an iPhone owner still, I avoid those updates. Period, because
I just took that block right out from under your feet as you were trying to use it.
I wasn't trying. I didn't try to pick up these blocks. My friend leaves them on the ground because I like to be able to see things.
It's so funny. I've done all this digging. I only have 4 stacks of cobble. I've dug in such a way that they've not even landed by me.
So they're just falling on the ground for no reason.
Yep. I have plenty of inventory space.
It's awful. I wish I
We
knew.
we should make a rail system. Someone was talking about a rail system that you can do from down here that you can just dump your items into and it'll deliver them up to the top.
That sounds cool. Why have we
If
not?
only I was smart.
I mean, how hard could that be, really?
I mean, honestly, not hard. If we really wanted to unload and then come back, that's probably the hard part.
Yeah. Well, isn't there like
I could
hopper
send a
minecarts or some shit now?
Yeah, we just send hopper minecarts up to or hopper chest carts and have them just dump off the end of the track into a pit of lava. Is it the remake the minecart every time because it just dies?
Well, no, I mean, but isn't there hopper? Can't you if you stop a chest cart over a hopper, doesn't it just empty out? Isn't there like a way to just do that pretty easily now?
Yeah, I think there is, but then you'd have to set up the redstone to know like with a and there's ways to do it because I've done it before, but I've always had to watch a tutorial when doing it. But you have to set it up to have some type of sensor that knows when it's empty to release it and send it back.
And then
And
just a
I just don't
comparator.
remember. It's a comparator, but it's got to be set up in a certain way to then trigger. It's not a hard way. It's just I don't remember it off the top of my head on how you set it up to stop in just the right spot, empty out, then the comparator tips off, it turns on a powered rail and sends the cart back.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe in between episodes, I'll look and try to see if we can make something simple in the next episode. Do we have a lot of rails? I used to collect rails from like mine shafts and stuff, but I haven't been really doing it because we haven't had a need for rail.
Yeah, I don't know. We might. I don't know. There's not any over here, but we've got a lot of iron, right?
Yeah, I guess we could just make it.
Yeah, we got a shitload of iron actually.
Actually, isn't there like a rail, like an abandoned mine shaft right below us?
Below us. There is though. Yeah, sure is.
Probably just grab the stuff from there.
Yeah, I might try to reboot my computer in between. I rebooted after updating my driver, but maybe could use another reboot. I did render a bunch of videos today.
The secondary reboot.
Right. To really drive it in.
The first one's just the one that says, "Are you serious? Are you sure?" Yeah. And then you do it again, and it's like, okay, he was sure.
he really committed.
Yeah, he needs us to do it.
Yeah, I always hate whenever it says you can't do this thing unless you update your driver. That's supposed to be one of these cases where it was like this VR stuff's not going to work if you don't update your driver. So it's like,
there's a lot of enemies up here.
Update my driver. Ruin my computer. So any word on any of your recent thefts?
No, nothing new. Unfortunately, I just try to not leave important packages outside, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know because I remember you'd called the police about one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting them to ever get back to me. The only time they'll get back to me is if they catch him and need me to testify.
Yeah.
Which is, what happened last time. Well, except I actually caught him and ID'd the suspect to them. Like,
right.
I was that guy.
Right. But I mean, you saw the other guy the other day, even.
Yeah. I haven't seen him since, unfortunately, because I would confront the man. But unfortunately, they're just, I don't know. It's just, we live in such a weird neighborhood. Anyways, that apparently there's have you heard of Nextdoor?
Nextdoor
the like website or application you can get to. You basically put in your address and it's meant to connect you to your neighbors and stuff. So it's really popular.
Awful.
Well, it's good and bad. I guess for you, I don't know if it would be something good, but in a city like this, it kind of works out in somewhat a good way. In some instances, some of them are just like.
What happened to like bringing a casserole over? That's how we used to connect our neighbors.
Too many neighbors, too many casseroles. No, but you basically put in your address and it says you live in like this vicinity, and it has like a vicinity all marked out for you, so it connects you with a little group basically with those people, and it'll start showing you posts that people make about so people make comment, but it's like a forum essentially, and people make all these posts and stuff all the time. People get asked to borrow, like, anybody around have like this type of tool, I'm doing this project. A lot of people borrow from it, some of my tools and a ladder and stuff that they
really these complete fucking strangers.
Yeah, but they're complete strangers that live in like walking distance.
Well, yeah, but so do the people that keep robbing your fucking porch. For all you know, they can be like, "Give me a
actually,
ladder." You
I don't
never
think
see them
those
again.
people live in walking distance. I think they either don't have homes or they, live.
Well, everyone's got a home, Jeff, even if it's under a bridge. So maybe they live within walking distance of their.
That's true. They could live in a bridge within walking distance. But there's. Apparently people have been posting about this woman, and I've never seen her, but there's this woman that people assume is crazy, like with some type of mental disease of some type. But I guess she's just been going around and, oh my God, that rain is so loud.
Has she been yelling at people about their religion?
And ripping out people's like flowers.
Wow. I was making a joke about your old nanny. Sorry.
Oh no! That woman's so like out of my mind. I don't think about her anymore. She's gone.
She's gone in my mind.
She's gone. I need to find a lava pool because I need to get rid of some of this coal, or the coal. Yes, this coal. This
Don't get rid of the coal, Jeff.
Because I want to just throw it on the ground, but can't do that because you'll get mad.
Yeah, I will. I will.
You'll just be like, "Why is this shit on the ground?" And I'll be
I'm
like,
still
"It's
having
dead."
jitters, man. I don't know what to do about it. I did render some videos of it, but I closed all that stuff beforehand. I don't know what's going on lately with Minecraft and me.
Well, it really baffles me how I don't have this issue.
Yeah. I don't have issues with any other games. That's what frustrates me is I'm running all these other games that are much more taxing on the computer, and I don't have any problems. But this game suddenly is a big deal.
Yeah, and it's not for me, which is weird because I can guarantee this is does not have to do with my internet speed. It's got to do with the
memory,
because it's all
RAM, graphics, all that type of thing.
Yeah,
CPU. Yeah,
and mine is not that good. Maybe I just have it optimized in some special way.
Maybe. I don't know. It sucks though.
Oh look, there's whoa! I was trying to look in that hole. I'm surprised I ain't dead. I was trying to look in the hole and I realized I just nose dived into the mountain as I was flying back. And I'm getting killed by the skeleton, man. He gonna kill me? Whoa! I'm gonna kill me!
You okay, buddy?
Nope. I'm not. I'm hiding in
die?
the hole. Not if I hide in this hole.
Mhm.
Whew. Whew. I was getting attacked by a skeleton. I was trying to run away. I fell down that big hole that's behind us. I wasn't paying attention, and I hit the bottom platform and sitting at 2 hearts. And
Wow.
have to hide away.
Close call. So the other day when we were recording the last set of episodes, Doc showed up when I was live streaming it, and he was having a blast with our episode. By the way,
Wait, what do you mean he was having a blast with
he was just like commenting the whole time. He was like, "Holy shit, this is as good as old school Double OG." And they're just talking shit. Like I don't know.
Wait, he was in the chat?
Yeah. I don't know
No,
what the
why
fuck
didn't
he
you
was up
mention
at that
that
time
while
of
it was
night.
happening?
Like it's so late for him.
He was probably wasted. That's why he thought it was so good.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. Because I was like, well, that's not that great. I mean, we're just
Well, I mean, if we
digging a
got
hole.
the doc approval, I mean, that should just rake in the
Right.
viewers, man.
bring in the views. You never have set up VR stuff, have you?
I don't have VR stuff, so no.
That's what I meant. Like you haven't ever gotten it, basically.
Yeah, no, I've never gotten the equipment.
Kind of
I
surprised.
really wanted to, but I couldn't think of like what I would personally do with it.
I mean, you just play the games, right?
I mean, well, yes, but what did I just dig myself to? Oh, I dug myself out of our area. Whoops. I was trying to dig my way back out of this hole. I went under the whole fence and out in the water.
Escaping the prison.
Yeah. I was like, see you guys later.
I just got a whole bunch of VR stuff lined up for this month for October, and I was that's on my mind. I just moved all the stuff that was on my floor out of here, like my Lego set and just different things I had lying around.
So what's the best VR game you've played so far?
I mean, I've played a lot that I really enjoyed, but there's been a lot that I enjoyed that also kind of came across like a shitty game. Like, for instance, there was one last year I did during Halloween called Emily Wants to Play or some shit like that. And it looked like garbage.
Rated X.
No. It was a horror game.
Wants to play, Guude.
Yeah. It was a horror game, and like the walls and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Rated X. It's a horror game.
Yeah. The walls and stuff look like an old '90s game or something like that. So like the graphics look like garbage, but
Is it like Saved by the Bell posters?
well, no, I mean like like the old Wolfenstein type. Like the game.
Oh, like okay.
Looked like shit, but it wasn't as bad as the Wolfenstein. But I mean, it wasn't like current day graphics. But then like scare wise, it scared the fuck out of me. So. I mean, it really depends. Like, there's a lot of VR games that it feels like graphics-wise, which is weird because you would think if you're going to be in this immersive area, the graphics need to be better than your average game. But that said, I played a game last year called Paranormal Activity, which was also terrifying and also had good graphics. Like, that game fucked me up, man. Like, there's clips of it on my Twitch channel where one of my mods, Armo, made a like a clip reel for the start of my streams. And when I watch these clips, I forget that it was a game. I mean, I don't forget that it was a game. I know it was a game and all that. But like when I watch the clips, in my memory, that house that happens in the game, like I was in that house is how it like resonates in my mind, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't a game that I viewed. I was a house I was in, if that makes sense. So VR horror is so much different from regular horror that it's like a whole new level of fucking terrifying to me.
I mean, so horror games are basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean that's basically what I've played. I mean I've played some other games that were really cool, but I feel like I got the VR headset last year in anticipation of October and doing horror games, and so that's the majority of what I played. And then like, it seemed like we were all gonna do lots of games together, Miko and Justin, but then Justin started getting nauseous every time we would do the horror stuff or the VR stuff, not the horror stuff, just VR in general. And so it would just kind of died, and we didn't do it at all. And so my VR just kind of sat around for a year, to some degree. I played this game with my daughter called some kind of diner game. I don't remember the exact name of it right now, but one person plays on the computer, not in VR. The other one puts the VR headset on and is the cook. And so one of you is the waiter or waitress at the computer, and the other one is cooking the food in VR. And that one's pretty fun because we have to play it together. Like I go around to the tables and the customers tell me what they want, and then I say it to her and she starts cooking it, sort of thing. So that's kind of fun. But the graphics in that are really cartoony, so it doesn't look like you're in a real diner, so to speak. Oh, why you shoot me? And where did you shoot me from? Oh, there you are.
You have a Gear, or wait, no, the Vive, or do you have the Oculus?
I have both, but I like the Vive better, so I use it.
Have you played Fantastic Contraption?
No, I've heard of that though. It looks good.
So it's it's an old like Java game that is a lot of fun just to play in the web browser. The whole point is to build contraptions that get, that finish the goal of the stage or whatever. So it takes a lot of like weird thinking and stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And I remember at one of the PAX when I got to go demo the Vive, it was one of the demo games, a 3D version of Fantastic Contraption. And that was like just cool in concept, but I don't know if it was cool in concept because it was a game that I enjoyed anyways and I brought it to 3D, or if it was really cool.
Right. Yeah, I can see that. This year or earlier last year, it's sometime recently, the Vive has released the ability to go wireless. You have to install a PCIe card in your computer to do it. So that's why I haven't bought the upgrade for it. But they basically made it where you don't have to have all these cords sticking out of your head too, which to me is a big positive change because of how hard it is to deal with the cords.
PCIe card?
Yeah, something that it broadcasts the wireless signal to the headset directly from your computer.
Interesting.
That basically is probably
and
like
the current version of Vive has the ability to do that when it launched?
Yeah, it's something you add on to the back of the Vive, basically where the cords currently plug in. You put this other thing
on.
Yeah,
it's an add-on.
Yeah, it's like another like $200 or something like that that you'd have to spend.
I mean, probably well worth it if you're going to play a lot of VR games. Because I know that the Gear VR, that's the one for the smartphones, right?
Yeah.
I know that was one of the big advertising like positives about that was the fact that there's no cords,
right?
Your cell phone's sitting inside of it.
Yeah, it's just not as good, unfortunately, of course, because it's your cell phone. But I guess it goes without saying, probably. But I mean, it's still cool. Like if that's all you got, it's still a cool thing.
Do you ever just put on your VR headset and watch like the 3D YouTube videos and like?
I don't know how to actually do that. Like, I don't know how you get it to broadcast that signal to your headset. I've never spent the time to figure out how that works, to be honest.
Oh, is it something that's not just out of the box easy to do?
I don't know. Like if you go to one of those videos and just turn it on and put your headset on, you just get blackness. There's no
Oh.
There's some way you have to tell it to send that instead of sending that video. Because I mean, when you watch a video on YouTube, like if you put one of those videos on your computer, it's just gonna play in the browser, right? And that's the same thing it does for
Well,
me.
I assume that it just came with like software that was like, here's the YouTube plugin.
I mean, there might be like there is like these like VR home basically. You can like so there's probably somewhere in there that I can go and find the YouTube videos from inside my VR home. If that makes sense. Like in Steam, there's a VR home where you're inside this room and you got like your collectibles and you can just draw in 3D space and other things, VR based. So from there, you probably can go to YouTube and pull that type of stuff up, I guess. I've never actually tried. I know porn sites have that as well now. But
what?
Yeah.
I might just have to buy.
I don't know how it works, though, again.
I might have to buy one of these just because I want to go watch some 3D porn.
Well, so I'm gonna tell you, I tried it. Not from like a porn site, but I downloaded some that's meant to be played like on the Vive, just because I was curious. Like, what exactly is this like? And I'll tell you, It was terrifying. It was like I was an ant.
See, like the camera crew.
Well, no, it was like I was an ant. Like the woman was the size of my house, basically. And I don't know if that's how they all are, but there was just basically like 2 videos came in this little pack, and it was like you were getting molested by a giant fucking woman, and you're a tiny little ant.
Well, so what's the quality like for one, and for two?
I mean, it was realistic. It was a video, so you're looking at how many pixels that is. It looks like real life.
But it's like I have a 3D or a 360 camera, and when I watch the video on my computer, it looks okay because it's not the greatest thing. But then when you upload it to YouTube, it is like terrible because it downgrades it even more.
No, that's not the case. Well, that wasn't the case with these videos. Quality wise, it looked like real life, but proportion. Perspective wise, it was terrifying, and I don't know if that's just how they all are or what, but it wasn't like real life. It was very scary. It was like fucking Jack and the Beanstalk or something. If Jack
turn around and see the camera crew just sitting there.
Yeah, that'd be more special too.
I will tell you, I watched it. This is so random. I watched a porn, I don't know when, relatively recently, but in the last couple months, and they must have made some. It's just funny to know how they're just movies. It's not a real life thing happening, but you get immersed in some of the ones that are good. But when it gets broken very quickly, like I don't remember exactly what was said, but this girl, like it was near the end, and she was like, "Oh, thank you for like, whatever you just did." And the guy was like, "Oh, you're welcome." And then he all of a sudden stops and goes, "Okay, let's redo that line one more time." And all of a sudden,
what?
Goes, "Thank you for what you did." And
wow, did it just not get edited or what the fuck?
They must have missed it in the edit. But it was just really funny because it was just like you went from instantly like, "Oh, realistic movie." Like this is completely just a movie that they're shooting, and like they made it very clear this is the movie that you're shooting right now.
That's I've never seen anything like that before.
It was really funny.
Crystal had bought these ones back in the day that were like it was Pirates of the Caribbean, except it was the porno, and like the captain of the ship was a woman, and it was real bad. It was real bad.
I feel most of those ones that are just trying to take on. I've watched very few of them. I think the first experiences I had with, like Forrest Hump versus Forrest Gump or something like that. And it's just like they're terrible. Like they're terrible in every way.
I feel like that would be pretty good. Fucking Jenny. Jenny was pretty hot.
But it wasn't Jenny. Would you also like to see a mentally challenged person like having sex with somebody?
Well,
I'm not sure if that's what it was about either, but I mean that would be the basis of it for.
Okay, you're ruining this for me, Jeff.
I'm ruining it because I don't know if I'm watching something like that. I don't necessarily want to think it's real, but I don't want it to be like basically just trying to mimic something I've already seen.
Right.
I don't want it to be real at all. I don't want the dude to only last like 10 seconds and the girl to be like dissatisfied and sad of herself.
We talk about sex a lot on my streams, and I don't know. I've learned a lot of things. Like apparently, I don't know. I thought every guy had lots and lots and lots of pre-cum and like was very lubricating on his own, and apparently that's not the case.
You think, but pre-cum's not lubricating anyway. It's
It is. It is meant. So I had this fucking argument with. You know what? We're out of time. We'll come back next episode if you want to hear about this shit right here. Because this is gonna take a minute. We ain't got time for it in today's episode. So,
all right, guys, I'm looking forward to it.
Bye.
Bye.